Hello. Apparently, we're going to have to go to war with Instagram. So, let's see here. There we go. All right. Amy's joining. Teresa. Hello.
Oh,
We have no idea what happened. Teresa will be hopping back on, but this happened last week.
oh, it did.
And so Teresa's like, looks like we got something to respond to make this because it's gone. It's lost.
Oh no, what does that mean? That means it didn't record or?
It didn't. Usually when we get off of a live, it saves it to the page so then people can go
Uh,
back and listen to it.
oh no,
Yeah.
happened last time too.
Yes. It did. It's okay. Whoever was meant to be here was here. It's fine.
There-
No big deal. I do know that I saw lots of mental projectors in the comments, so that's what it's good.
Good,
It's good.
good.
It's all good.
Wow. Well, then it was a moment that we cannot return to.
No.
It happened and it's over.
It's done. You know, there were a few questions that if we have a moment, if you
Yeah.
feel like it, Amy, that I remembered seeing in the question box. And one was, what would you recommend, or what advice would you have to give to a parent that has a mental projector child?
Um, I would say, God, so many things. I think this goes for all projector children, but especially mental projector children. It's so important, such a gift to have people that you can look at the world with. My my favorite image of relationship is like sitting on a bench side by side with somebody looking at the world. That's my like warm, happy feeling of relationship. So as a baseline. So totally different than if you're like doing a bunch of stuff together or facing off or so a mental projector child is probably going to be very perceptive and very quick to reflect and amplify whatever is around them. So to be able to have space and time where they can either be, have some quiet space and be able to separate from the energy, but also have someone that they can talk about their awareness with. So if you're their parent and you can do that with them, that's great. If you can't, find somebody else who can, because it's just such a huge relief. I have two projector nieces, and my God, they are fascinating. They are some of the most fascinating children. All children are fascinating in their own way, but they are so studying everything. They're so perceptive, and I'm so glad they have adults close to them that they can talk through things with. So I think that's really big. And then to also just really understand, you've really got to understand those center mechanics and the amplification dynamics um, and profile. I mean, I think as much as you can understand about a mental projector child um, will really help you and help you to understand how weird they are and how unusual, how unique they are, and how limited they are in some ways, and how almost dangerously flexible they are in other ways. So I think to watch out for all of those things is really good for mental projector children. Protect their energy, protect their health, you know,
Uh,
save from having to compete in the normal world. I think
so
that's
good.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually reframed my entire childhood. There were a lot of ways that I felt neglected in some ways as a child, um, but I see now how much a certain amount of space and lack of pressure was really a gift to me. So
Mm.
yeah, but projector children, they need people to talk to. They need to talk, You know, they need to look at stuff and study stuff. And if they don't have someone to do that with, then they'll do it on their own in their own way, but that's not as fun. And then also you probably get to hear all kinds of trippy shit come out of them, which is a bonus. So
Yeah.
ask what they see. You're gonna get to go on a little head trip. Be very unique. So and it's so simple, you know, so simple.
Mm.
Um, if we can like slow life down. But we think about kids who are running all over the place. And that's what I did as a kid. I ran all over the place, did a million things. But um, to be able to slow down and pause and actually reflect and examine, really such a huge gift for a projector child, especially one that doesn't have motors.
Mm.
And then also to not put pressure on them about what they're going to be, or what they love to do, or trying to find some lane to push them into. I think that's really important.
Yeah, it seems like just celebrating their awareness and giving them a platform to express their awareness. Because I feel like that's something that I talk to projectors a lot because I'm fascinated by like the inner child and, kind of reparenting ourselves in adult life. And that's such a common theme for projectors is like, I didn't feel like anybody was listening to me. I felt like I was crazy because I had this thought or I had this feeling or I didn't trust myself because nobody taught me to trust my awareness. Um, and I just have so much compassion for projectors in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amy Ruth said she has a projector baby. Well, he's walking, so not so babyish, but she said they create chaos to make something to watch.
If you don't give me something good to study, I'll just throw some shit in the air and see what
Yeah.
happens.
Well, she's a projector too, and she'll often have him on her stories, and he's just like doing his own thing completely. He's just like looking around, just totally, she's totally letting him be a projector and like how he just, yeah, it's fascinating actually.
I love it. I love the her dynamic between the manifestor and the projector child and
Yeah.
showcasing that. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to see a hilarious little manifestor toddler kid, go find Amy Ruth HD on here. He has his own. His name is Jed, and
Oh,
he is just, he's such a manifester, and she lets him be a manifester, and it's hilarious.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yep.
I mean, it's a great way to learn human design, really, is get if you have a bunch of little kids around, if you're in that zone of life of having children, wow, to get to watch what comes out of them right out of the gate is just fascinating. And then how they're processing life and how different it is for each of them. Such a great study, such a raw study to get to see. It takes a lot of pressure off, I think, too. It can take a lot of pressure off in terms of parenting because you see certain things. There are certain things in my daughter that I'm so grateful for that I don't have to worry about, or I don't have to like put something into her to make her okay. I can see what her natural gifts are and how strong they are in her. And it actually, I think, can make parenting easier.
Mm. What's your daughter's design?
My daughter is a 2/4 split pure emotional generator. She
Mm.
just has 49 in the 1034.
Wow.
Um, yeah. And she's very centered in herself. She's got a lot of conviction. She knows who she is. And so that was such a help to me because so many of the fears that I had for her before I fully understood human design, based on what I went through as a child, getting lost in other people's identities, merging with other people's energy, um, being completely overwhelmed and overrun, overworked in certain ways. I didn't have to worry about any of that. And then on the other hand, our family joke is that she's the most honest person any of us knows. Like she's not to the point where when she was really little, it was like, you got to teach that kid to be more polite. Like or it's like she's the kind of, like you give her a piece of pie and she doesn't like it. She's gonna be like, yes, this isn't very good actually. Like she's real honest and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's actually a beautiful thing. It's something I'm just so grateful for and very close, like from a very young age. she was not the kind of kid who was gonna smile and chat and sit in a stranger's lap. She was very, she's very second line, very selective, and very connected to her slow process of feeling somebody out. And there's so many gifts in her design that I'm so grateful she has. And then things that I don't have to worry about or project onto her that were problems for me, because it's not her problem, truly.
Wow, that's so freeing, because my mom's a emotional projector, and there's been conversations we've had where I can tell she is kind of like projecting her own childhood issues onto me, and like, oh, I worry about this for you because this is what I dealt with. And I'm like, that's not my truth though. We're very different.
Yeah, I think that's a huge gift of human design for parenting, for sure.
Someone's asking, did we plan to wear that same top? And if you missed the first part of the live that we did, no, Teresa and Amy hopped on the same tank top, and I happen to have the same tank top on this chair when we got on. So I put it on the live.
Glitch in the matrix. It's fractal shit, that's all.
Well, and it's weird because I looked at it right before we started the live, and I was like, I felt like drawn to put it on, and I was like, no, I'm in my robe. I'll just be in my robe. I'm not listening to what
I almost didn't wear this too. I was wearing a different outfit, and I changed like 5 minutes before the live, so.
I thought it would change, and then I didn't really have time. I was too tired to, so I just left it. So
yeah,
here we
are proving fractals.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to do a recap real quick of the last live. So Amy's one half of Human Design Collective. You can find them on Instagram, their website. They do Living Your Design course, Rave ABCs, Rave Cartography. They're incredible teachers. So if you're thinking about doing any of the foundation classes, check them out and see if you're a yes for that.
They also have a really awesome podcast.
They have an amazing podcast. Yeah, Human Design Collective. I just listened to the last one with Barbara Ditlow.
Oh, I've listened to that twice now. It's so good.
If you guys want to hear projectors like really pull shit out of people, and like they just have an amazing podcast. Teresa and I are just like blip, 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 back and forth, and they're just like projectoring in the podcast. It's so good.
I love being a fly on the wall too. It's like when you have a projector guest, and I'm like, I get to just listen to 3 projectors talk about the world and share awareness, and I'm like,
yes. And Barbara's a self-projected projector too. So she has lots to say.
Oh yeah.
She just like all of your guests are just like chef's kiss.
Yep. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. And thank you for bringing me into this world. This is really awesome and amazing to get to see. And even just like, I know I'm late to the party, but to get to see everybody, interacting, to get to be live like this. How cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we really love about it, because we keep tossing and turning with like, should we make this like a real podcast or whatever? But there's this live magic component to it. And I think my 659 like loves bringing people together, and people become friends in the comment section and get to relate to one another. And also just being able to be live with the guest and ask the questions that are on the tip of your tongue while you're listening to something, I think is really cool. So we were honored to be able to give you the platform for the first time here on IG.
And sometimes it's so magical that it goes poof and it disappears.
It disappears, and you have to be live.
I was just going to say, if I were going to do something like this, I love the idea of it disappearing.
You're such a fifth line.
We had this amazing conversation, and then it's just gone. Like, wow. But, like, I don't know. There's something about that. I think that appeals to my individuality. I like that.
Oh my God. I feel like that's your fifth line hoarding too.
Probably.
We're like, no, we have to get it to the people.
You're right.
You're like, too bad, sucker, you missed it.
You'll have
Fourth
to-
lines, we're like, no, the people, get it out to our network. And that's what crushes me.
Our precious
Like,
externalizations.
again, my tribal fourth lineness is like, oh, I just failed you guys.
You know, there's clearly this is a theme since it happened to our most recent episode too. So we're like, okay, there's something to respond to maybe, or maybe it was just meant to be. I don't know.
Well, it happened to Jen and Kiara's live on 2027 too.
Wow.
Not meant for the collective, maybe?
They're censoring the truth. No.
The forces could not have it.
Yeah, we got to fix this before. We have a lock on Tuesday, and then we have John Cole joining us on Wednesday. So there are 3 coffee talks this week.
Wow, you guys are really getting our little jazz, our little fractal vibe here.
So we had Martin Grassinger on. He started off this season.
Oh, great.
And it was his second Instagram live, and it was awesome.
He did well.
Yeah.
He's just so amazing to like listen to.
I
mean, yeah, just his frequency too. It's like
there's so many rich, deep people out there.
Yeah.
Dave says we should screen record. I don't know if my phone has that much. Maybe we could hire someone to screen record it for us.
Yeah, I also had the thought of maybe doing it on YouTube and like just putting the announcement out like, hey, go to the link, we're on YouTube, because then it would also save a step for me. And as an MG, I'm always looking to skip steps and not have to like upload it to YouTube also. So maybe we'll figure something out, but
yeah, we will.
Fun for me. Thank you for having me. Thanks for the uniform with me.
Yeah.
I like it. Now I will think of you guys every time I wear this shirt. So
yes.
And I love what you both are doing, and I think you're doing a really amazing job of bridging some different things with the way you're doing it. So I really appreciate that. I think that's a real gift to how this is all evolving. So good on you.
Thank you. And you guys can find Amy at humandesigncollective.com and here on Instagram and on all podcasts places, Human Design Collective podcast. Check it out.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Amy.
Thank you so much. Lots of love.
Later.
Keep up the good work.